You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. Yep, we played hooky last Monday, right, Mike?
That's right.
Yeah, but we missed the shows, and we're back, and we got an amazing guest. And actually, she's from Florida. She's from our state. So she's from down south. We have Cahni Katana. She's a hypnotherapist, not a I forget what I said last time, but a hypnotherapist, a paranormal investigator, and I believe she's sensitive, psychic medium. She's actually with one of our good friends. She's on his team, Bill Slevin, Paranormal Existence. Did I get that right, Mike? Well, Kanye will tell us. But yeah. I got an intro. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Here we go. Bam. It looks like Connie's like connected to quite a few people that we are connected to, right?
That's right.
Well, without further ado, let's bring her on. Bam. Hey, Connie, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Welcome.
I love that intro. That was so cool.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So when I said I was on your Facebook, I wasn't stalking you. I was working on something. So there you go.
Perfectly fine.
You're psychic, so you know.
Right? I knew what was going on.
Exactly. So, I've seen you around. I friended you on Facebook recently, but I've always there you go, Ernesto Paez. That's one of our good buddies. He's with a group called Modern Mimes. Amazing music.
That was his music. Yeah, that was
his
that
music.
We were playing
Yep.
for the intro.
Yeah, so check him out. He's got a YouTube. Go listen to his music. It's on Spotify. He's everywhere. Very talented, him and his wife. Thanks, Ernesto, for distracting me. We forgot we had a guest on the show, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Connie, you're from... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said, don't forget me.
Exactly. No, of course, never. So thank you for coming on the show. So tell us a little about yourself. I saw that you're a hypnotherapist, paranormal investigator. There was something else that was interesting. I can't remember the name.
It's okay. I'll get into it.
I'll find it.
So I'm a clinical interpersonal and transpersonal hypnotherapist. I've been doing hypnotherapy for about 13 years. I do a lot of past life regressions, which I can't even say like how awesome that is that I get to do that for people.
Very cool.
Paranormal investigator, of course, I started doing that, when I was a kid. Most people say the same thing, that they were just totally infatuated with the paranormal. I'm a full Mesa carrier, so I'm a shamanic practitioner.
That's what I meant.
Carrier is. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Oh, we're gonna have to talk to you later. That's for
Yes.
sure. Right, Mike?
Yeah, for sure.
What else? Oh, I'm a Reiki master. I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't
You
know.
wear a lot of hats. That's
I
for sure.
do. I'm
So
the
on tonight's
team
show,
lead.
we're doing a
Oh,
remote Ricky.
Paranormal Existence Research Society.
There you go. Bill, why'd you have to make such a long name? Damn it.
I'm the team lead for the West Coast. And
Okay.
yes, I love it. I love Bill. Shout out to Bill if you're watching.
Yeah, Bill's great.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's
awesome.
good friends with us. Yep.
Yes.
And actually, we got a West Coast girl that maybe you need to meet that's on our team, Franny. She's on our team. She's investigated with Bill as well. She's actually in Naples.
Yeah. Okay.
Not too far away, but
it's like 3 hours, I think.
yeah.
Pretty much everything in Florida is 2 to 3 hours, you know.
Huge state.
Yeah.
So how cool is that, doing the hypnotherapy? How did you get into that?
So I've been through a lot of different forms of therapy, and I just felt really stuck. And I was following this guy on Facebook who was talking about hypnotherapy training and how you could do past life regressions. And I was totally into that. I was like, that's really, really cool. Mm-hmm. And he had a training, and it was a weekend's worth of training in Santa Barbara. And so I was like, oh my God, I really want to go. But it was 2 weeks away. And I thought, well, there has to be something closer. So I found one of the top schools in the country. It happened to be in Tampa, and it was 9 months long. It was not a weekend's worth of training. So I kind of lost faith in the little guy that I was following talking about a weekend's worth of training. I spent more time than that just on helping people to get into the hypnotic state. So I really, really felt like it was a huge life-changing situation to go to hypnotherapy school for me. Like right away, it was life-changing. And it just felt right to me. And I went through, like I said, 9 months worth of training, and I learned clinical work, which is the medical type of stuff. I learned transpersonal, which is the alien stuff, and past life regressions. And yes, I have helped people with their alien abduction experiences.
That's the first thing that like popped into my mind was like those movies you always see, and they do like a hypnotherapy, and like remembering the
what was that movie? The Fourth Kind? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Fourth Kind. Yeah.
Oh, that movie
with the owls and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
I've got chills.
Just scary.
Yeah, that freaks me out, man.
You know, ghosts sound scary. Scare me.
I saw the movie theater, and I remember I was like, really freaked out by it.
Yeah. Have you ever had an extraterrestrial or UFO type experience?
So I've seen some things in the sky that were pretty questionable. A few months ago, I was driving on this like main road, and there are all these restaurants and stuff and businesses. And so it was not in some remote area.
Tampa? In Tampa?
Outside of Tampa. And I see something in the sky, and it was a bright light, and it had like these tails. There were like maybe 4 tails on it, and they kept changing color. They were like flashing different colors. Really? And the thing, like, it wasn't moving, but there were all these different colors, and it's like it would change. It wouldn't necessarily, it would flash, but it would also just like change into a different color. I have no clue what it was. I've never seen anything like that. It wasn't something from
space. Is it like a craft or like a mechanical?
It was really big, whatever it was. And I was trying to get a better view of it and figure out exactly where it was, but I couldn't seem to figure it out. But it wasn't a drone. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. It, like I said, it wasn't anything from SpaceX, because we see stuff like that, Yeah. But I have no clue what that was. And I saw something another time, and it was another thing that was really bright, and it was moving upward. And all of a sudden it just like went really fast and disappeared. So I have no clue what that was either. Those are the 2 things that I've experienced, but nothing that I could really get freaked out about.
Right.
Nothing super exciting. I'm just kind of like, that was weird. Like, I don't know what.
Yeah. I've seen some strange stuff like that too. And I used to be a boat captain and crew on fishing boats here locally, and I've seen some real weird stuff out there. When you get offshore at night and you don't have that light pollution, you can really see some stuff, and some just strange things, like we used to see off in the distance something kind of move, and this was consistent. Like, you go out there a couple nights sword fishing and you see it, multiple times, and it would come,
Getting me hungry.
like a light, and then it would drop down and then go straight back up and then move, like almost like I thought it was like a helicopter. And I was talking to my buddies. I'm like, is that a helicopter dropping? They're like, no, it doesn't have the range to be out there. We're 12 miles offshore. This is another additional, 10 miles offshore. So I don't know. Weird. A lot of weird stuff going on.
We had a weird experience on Lake Okeechobee. We decided, like, hey, we're going to try out a paranormal investigation on Lake Okeechobee because we heard some stories there. And we were looking for, like spirits and things like that, maybe like from like past like Native Americans. But we've heard a lot of the weird things. People reported like sightings and stuff, but we were getting weird stuff to the spirit box. We were doing, I don't know if you've seen the Delco experiment, the sensory deprivation.
Yep, I've used that.
It was just wild. Everything was related to like UFOs, extraterrestrial up in the sky. And it was just wild.
Very, very strange. Very strange. Yeah. Everything pointed towards that.
Scares me. Like,
it freaks me out too, because
it doesn't scare me, but it's so like unknown. You don't know what their intention is. I have these nightmares that I'm driving down the road or like I'm outside for some reason and I see them like gathering in the sky, and you don't know, like, you don't know what their intention is. And so I'm just kind of like, oh my God, like, what do I do?
I think it's part of human nature just to think of something that's smarter than
putting probes in your body and like,
just having something that's smarter than us and not knowing what they're up to is just very freaky. You know what I mean? And it's I feel that it's very plausible. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about the vastness of space, I mean, it's infinite. There's got to be something. It's selfish to think that we're the only things that only planet that has life. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, and just talking about some of the hypnotherapists, right? It's the hypnotherapy type stuff, like they do that with, abduction cases and things and lost time. Have you ever done it with anything like as far as a paranormal interaction? Like this, like if somebody had some kind of an interaction and then kind of ask them and get them into that state and ask them, see if they can remember more details and get into that. As far as, you have?
Yeah, I have. I've done that a couple times. People that were questioning what really happened, they didn't know if maybe they're in a dream state. They wanted to see if they could get more information about it. So I don't know, like it's hard to tell sometimes if it really is your imagination, when you're experiencing these things. So I'm just trying to help people get some answers,
Right.
Really, really fascinating. I've done a lot more with the alien abduction stuff than the paranormal stuff.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just going to say that there's some people that, like do have hallucinations and think they see things, but they're having mental issues. How does the hypnotherapy help with that?
Yeah, because trauma, mental trauma and things like that can also give you hallucinations and different things as well, right?
Well, the subconscious mind can make things up, and it can make things up during hypnotherapy as well, because it's always going to protect you. It's not going to give you something that you can't handle. So sometimes it will give you things metaphorically speaking and not necessarily like the absolute truth. Oh, look.
She always loves to come on the show.
So, things can happen metaphorically. Your subconscious isn't 100% accurate. That's why little kids will say that something happened or they saw something or they had an experience, but it's so much different than what really happened because to
Mhm.
them, they're getting used to different emotions and things like that. So it
Right.
makes it really, really traumatic to a kid because they're getting used
Right.
to emotions and things like that. But, you know, people have trauma. Everybody has some sort of a traumatic experience in their life, you know, something.
Mhm.
But you know, when I'm doing hypnotherapy on somebody, it's kind of like you don't know what you're going to get, but you're always safe. You're always safe.
Right.
Um, like I said, the subconscious isn't going to give you something that you can't handle, but I don't erase people's memories. You know, I've had people ask me, "Can you
Right.
erase this?" But I can help them to deal with it more easily. And
Okay.
you know, so it's kind of like, okay, I can't move past this. Well, we can look at the
Okay.
part of you that can't move past it. So there's conflicting parts. Part of me wants to move forward, the other part of me is stuck. So we want to look at that and see exactly what's going on. We can also do a regression back to the incident, but I like to go back further. Like, let's look at the very first time you felt that way, you know?
Mhm.
So by healing what happened before that and moving forward, it can really make a huge difference.
So most people that are looking to do what you do or looking to get treatment are people maybe that were like maybe abused or something traumatic happened like years ago and it's still bothering them and they can't let go. And
Or
is
even
that why they
sometimes,
reach
right?
out to
Like
you?
they don't even know what was really bothering them, right? Like if they
Yeah,
just like
sometimes they
had.
don't know. Sometimes they're like, I have anxiety and I don't know where it comes from.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, I get a lot of smokers. I get a lot of past life regressions. I get a lot of
Hmm.
bad habits and anger issues, and
Right.
get a lot of things like that. But I feel like you know, I can relate to the people that I get as clients. I only get, you know, certain types of clients more than others, and I feel like there's a more of a connection with that. You know what I mean? Things that I've gone through in my own life, and I think that that makes things a little bit better. That connection. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I don't do a lot of clinical work like pain management and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I don't do a lot of
Right.
that stuff. It's
So,
mostly law stuff like that, of course.
right. So like I can see like how that could like help out like on a residential case. Um, like what type of cases do you think this would come into play? Like we were talking about earlier, like people who like are experiencing things, but they don't know if it's real. Maybe they were dreaming about it, or maybe there is something paranormal in their house. Um, I just think that like you would be like a strong tool for the team. I mean, a big asset to the team.
Well, people can experience
What you bring to
paranormal
the table.
trauma. You know, they can have paranormal trauma as well, you know,
Hmm.
and, so I can definitely help with that. And I've had people who have, you know, had a lot of paranormal trauma. It's not just like, okay, let me see if this really happened. It's like, okay, this was happening to me and I can't move past it. Now I'm terrified. Now I'm afraid of the dark. Now, you know, I'm afraid to be by
Right.
myself. So there's a lot of different things that it can be used for. But, you know, you can even do it with spirit release. Spirit release is kind of a form of hypnotherapy. So
Hmm.
there's different ways to release a spirit, of course, as most people know. But it can be used to essentially give therapy to the spirit to help it move forward.
I was going to ask you about that. So you help spirits cross over.
I do. And, you know, there's different ways to do it. Like I said, the
Hmm.
spirit release therapy is interesting, but there has to be like a willing participant. You know what I mean? So
Right. That's where I was going to go next. Like,
if
are
they don't
there
want to do it,
times?
yeah. If they
Right.
don't want to do it,
Right.
it's not going to happen. But it's different than like the shamanic way. So the shamanic way can be very different. People that use like, you know, house clearings and things like that. Um, Mediums have different ways of doing it. So it's not a one size fits all.
Right.
And I think
And
most people realize that there isn't.
right.
But, you know, I will say that before I really stepped into mediumship, I didn't know that there were different ways. I had no clue. And I thought that, you know, maybe doing sage or something like that would work. And I
Hmm.
was experiencing a traumatic haunting and I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
figure out what to do. And so I was like, let me sage, let me salt, let me, call out to everybody I could possibly think of, Tom Cruise, come help me.
Scientology.
Yes, anybody, anything. And so I was
Party
having a
Paranormal.
difficult time, right? And, I had been investigating, but I hadn't run across anything super, super serious. And I didn't know like what I was supposed to do at that point. And like I said, I tried everything and I was like, why isn't this working? Like there has to be something. And so a medium came in and she helped me without knowing anything that was going on. And this was a severe, severe case. It probably is the most severe situation I've ever dealt with, was in my own office.
Oh, wow.
And so she came in and she said that her spirit guides took this spirit outside. And I said, well, what are they doing? And she said, I don't know. I'm like, well, are they giving him a spiritual beatdown? Like, what's going on? Like, talking to him? I don't know. And she said that they would tell her later. And apparently they were talking to him and they were like, hey, you're stuck here because you think you're stuck here, but you're not. But you're choosing to torment this woman in the hopes that it will get to the person that you want to torment. My landlord was the person that he was after, but my landlord was oblivious to everything. So he was using me to get to the
because you're sensitive. He knows it'd be easier to communicate with you.
So, I mean, I knew right away that there was something wrong in this building. I knew. And so the medium and her spirit guides, they, settle these things to him and he took off and he was done and he was gone. So that really made me want to develop my I don't like to use the word gifts because I think anybody and everybody can do it. It's just a matter of being able to tap into the energy and feel what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend, he actually does that. That's what he does. He helps people to learn how to feel energy and to communicate with their loved ones.
Can I get his number?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because I thought I was never sensitive until I came to War Party and they taught me to open up my mind. Mm-hmm. And the more I do it and the more I investigate it, I notice like I get like something weird that happens to me. Like I just get pulled and I just follow it. And then like crazy things start happening. Like I get my name called out, and I just go with it now.
Yeah. People don't understand what the energy feels like. And they think that it's like it is in the movies and it's not.
No.
And some people think that only a select few have the ability to do that, but it's not true. And there's, pretty much everybody has a story of, I had a dream about somebody that passed away and it felt so real, or something told me not to do this, or, I knew that I didn't like this person as soon as I saw them and I couldn't figure out why. Everybody has some sort of story, maybe they saw something, they heard something that they can't explain. And so even people that are like, I don't believe in these things, they still have a story. They have something, and I think that really tells us that by tapping into that energy, you really can expand it. You really can speak with spirits. You really can, do things psychically. So it's really, really interesting.
Have you ever dealt? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, that's all right.
So I was just going to say, have you ever dealt with a spirit that was being held by something that was dark? And if you did, how did you deal with that?
That was being held by something dark?
Yeah, there's been some situations where I felt, or we felt as a team, that there was a spirit trying to cross over, but something
and the other one was preventing it back.
And we thought there was something that was like a dark entity. Couldn't explain what it was, and it was being held back. There's several places that sort of like that we investigate at.
I have felt that before. And so pretty much I helped the one that was being held back to understand that they're not really being held back.
Right.
Because, it's their belief that that's what's going on.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
And you deal with both of them. Okay, you got to go, and okay, you got to go. So yeah, they both need to go, but not in not in a bad way. I don't believe in banishing them to some outer realm or something like that. I think that, whenever you can help, you can help. If it's something that's darker, I have my own opinions about that type of thing, but I would say that what I was dealing with in my office was pretty dark.
Yeah.
But some of this stuff, you know, you're not going to help it. It doesn't want to be helped. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah,
And,
no, it's. I would say, you know,
I
it's
interrupt.
definitely super rare that, you know, in all the cases and all the places that we've investigated everywhere, that, you know, you come across something dark. Not saying that that's not out there. There's definitely stuff that we run across that's definitely dark. I don't want to say the D word, right? You know, but there's definitely some stuff out there that can be dangerous, you know, or you know, and disrupt things, but it's not as common as, you know, the
Right.
TV shows and things make it think. You know, it's pretty rare, but when you do run into it, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and we get people that reach out to us saying like, "Oh, I got something demonic in our house," and it's not demonic.
Right.
We get, because like a lot of times when we're investigating, we're not even paranormal investigators. We're like family crisis service people,
Yeah.
or we're therapy. You're giving them mental therapy, you know, or you know, people like have other problems that it's not really
Yeah.
paranormal.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
say,
that's one of the hardest things about doing what we do, and I've said that before, is kind of looking at somebody and saying, hey, listen, you need to really kind of work on yourself, and you need to, you know,
yeah.
and try to see if you can get some help we could recommend to some professional places, you know, and things of that nature. You know, and if they're having substance abuse problems or things of that nature. But also, there's not to say that is the only problem. You can have both, you know what I mean. And sometimes paranormal things thrive on you know, this
Chaos.
dysfunction and chaos.
Clean up
So
your house, open
I
up
was
the
just going to
curtains,
say
bring
that.
light in your house, hug your
Yeah.
wife, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. I had
bringing up the energy
bad.
and the space too can, you know, can help as well.
I was in a
um
really, really bad situation like that. And these people that were living in this house, it was probably the worst case that I've ever seen as far as, you know, hoarding and just not cleaning. And they had only been there 6
Wow.
months. I mean, I
Wow.
could tell you some of the things that I saw, but like it was just mind blowing. And I don't even want to get into it. That's how bad it was. But they didn't care. They didn't want to clean up. They didn't, you know, when I suggested it, they looked at me like, how dare you?
yeah, right. I know
Oh, you don't have to
that's the
tell
hardest
me
part.
about that.
People don't want to hear, you
Mm-mm.
know, that kind of stuff. You know,
They
and
want
that's the other
you
thing.
to tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to come in with all the bells and whistles and everything and, you know, do it like they do on TV and wave a magic wand.
Sometimes they'll invite their friends, they'll have beer or like the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
I
big
mean,
party, right?
there's sometimes where we get into a case where like we're actually fearful for our lives. I mean, we're like, what are we doing here? I mean, I can remember my most recent one. Like,
Yeah.
For your ghost hunting 101, I just want to throw in something there for everyone because we got a lot of paranormal investigators here in the chat. If you ever go to a residential case, whatever you do, don't lock yourself in the place. If there's a fence around the perimeter, make sure you're not locked in. Make sure it's open. Make sure you got your cars parked outside. Because we happened to walk into a place where we drove into this, like, I don't know, it was almost like a junkyard, right, Mike? It looked like a junkyard with the house in the middle, and it was fenced in. So we all pull in
To the
and
driveway, and then they shut the gate and
they
locked it.
shut the gate. Because I guess, like, I don't know. We were thinking, like, oh, maybe he's like keeping the dogs in. He doesn't want them to run out. But we start going in there, and things just started getting weird. Soon as we started meeting him, the guy's like double fisted with beer. I've been drinking all day. That's the first thing that comes out of his mouth. That should have been a sign for us to run. And then the wife took forever to get out. The reason why you're talking about hoarding, the reason why it took her forever is she's trying to clean the house before we got in there because it was a mess. Make a long story short, we start going through the house, you know, doing like a sweep and doing our thing, doing a preliminary. They're outside the house. We're seeing shotgun shells all over the place. We're seeing blood splatter on the wall, like someone was shooting up with needles.
Oh,
we right before they went out, we see it wasn't even like a toddler. Maybe the kid was like 5 years old in diapers, like soiled, like they hadn't changed him the whole day. And you know, yeah, it was very sad. And we're like talking like underneath our breath, but like they had like security cameras inside and they could hear what we were saying. So they came back in and the husband was like pissed. He didn't even say anything. He looked straight down and went straight to the room. And we were like, oh, what is he going to do? But the good thing is that we do come packing as well. And also you met Scotty Burns. Like she don't play around. She used to be a bodyguard. I mean, not a bodyguard, a bouncer at a bar. And she told the woman straight up, like, listen, your boyfriend is abusing you. Take care of your children. You got to stop doing the drugs. There's nothing paranormal here. And it was just like, ghosts don't scare me. It's people.
It's hard to give people the truth sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of times we try to empower people to help themselves. It's not just about, you know, let me go in
that's
and
what Scotty was trying to do.
Yeah. And that's something that, you know, that we do at on Bill's team. You know, we make sure that the client is empowered because things could just keep coming back, you know?
Yeah. And we're very precautionary.
That's one of the things that we say all the time too. It's not like we're going to come in there and spray a little ghost be gone and then we're good and we're done. You know, a lot of times there's homework involved. There's things that people need to do. You know, I mean, we'll give them a list of things to do. Like you said, like bring up the energy in the home, you know, watch a comedy, lighten up the place, you know,
gotta work at it,
give you some different things to do. And you know, there's homework involved. You know, and then, you know, we'll be back and we'll come back and we'll check back in with you and blah, 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 and different things of that nature. But it's actually kind of running into that point of the show where we just got to run a couple ads.
We got to pay bills.
And we'll be right back.
What is up, my paranormal peeps? You may be wondering why we're holding something like these in our hand, and my buddy's going to tell you all about it.
The reason that we have this paranormal equipment in our hand is because we're giving a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, one of our sponsors. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
That's right, and you may have seen some of these equipment on your favorite paranormal TV shows.
Exactly, especially the Haunted Files on Paraflix.
Mike's got that right.
All right, guys, so check them out. And if you use the code word Ghost Gone Wild,
not Girls Gone Wild,
Ghost Gone Wild, in your checkout, you'll get a discount on your purchase. Thank you, guys.
Peace. Hi, I'm Eric, and this is Mike from War Party Paranormal Radio Show and the Haunted Files on Paraflix. And Mike, we got something pretty cool, right?
Heck yeah. So, I want to talk about Haunted Happy Hour, spirit-infused coffee. They have many different flavors, all kinds of different stuff. They're great people. They have a podcast with great content, and they got an amazing product here. So, this one actually is Sweet Rum Bliss. And what's amazing about this, you order this product and you also get 1 month free subscription to Paraflix. So you can watch us.
Yeah, and you might be feeling dead inside, but get caffeinated with Haunted Happy Hour.
All right.
Are you ready to explore the unknown?
Eventually.
Brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. Paraflix Paranormal Plus, your gateway to the paranormal, all-in-one streaming service. Dare to explore, dare to believe, Dare to stream alone.
It does not want us here.
Sign up now and embark on a supernatural adventure like never before. Paraflix Paranormal Plus, the universal home of paranormal.
And speaking about Paraflix, guys, I'm sure you might know or you might not know, but we have a show on Paraflix called The Haunted Files. It's Eric and I and some of our other teammates, and we get out there and investigate claims of the paranormal at different locations. We travel around, and we have a new episode coming out this month on the 21st at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Tifton Library. We investigated that with special guest James Cummings from Cross the Line Paranormal, invited us out there to check out some of the stuff that was going on at this library, and it did not disappoint. We definitely found some stuff going on. It was super spooky, very active, and it's going to be an amazing episode. I got a quick little trailer, and then we'll get right back to it. The old Tifton Public Library has been a cornerstone of Tifton, Georgia, with its stately architecture and rich history. However, its reputation goes beyond being a center of knowledge, as numerous reports of unexplained phenomena have left many to believe this building is haunted.
I do feel like there's something following me or that there's a presence, and I have heard like a muffled voice.
Hello, I'm James with Cross the Line Paranormal. We're a team based out of Alice, Georgia. We were called in here last year to investigate claims that all the employees have been experiencing here, from disembodied voices to hair being played with, books being on the floor when they come in after the weekends or the next morning.
Let it lights out. All right. You guys ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. What's that?
Are you beating on the wall?
I feel live like us.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. That's good, dude. It's been a while since you had a conversation like this.
A lot of it.
This is crazy.
This is good. Ooh.
Very cool.
All right. What's that?
I said
That's
very
good.
cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one to come out. It's gonna be neat. Yeah, so kind of diving back into things. What I mean, you have a lot of skills there. So what I guess I keep going back to the hypnotherapy thing because I think it's very interesting.
Fascinating.
It's fascinating. And it's something that you don't really hear or get to talk to somebody that does this very often. You know what I mean?
Right.
But also with your knowledge in all these different things and everything, I want to hear you said you did the Delco experiment.
I did.
I want to know what was your take on it?
So we were at the Devil's Tree. Is that what it's called?
Oh man.
Okay.
In there.
I forgot what it was called. So yes.
Devil's Tree.
Yes.
Yeah. So real quick, the Devil's Tree is one of the places that I've been to multiple times that I feel that there's definitely something dark going on there. And there's actually two trees. We actually got in contact with one of the fellows that is an author that wrote fictional books on the Devil's Tree, the story of Gerald Schaefer and all the stuff that he was a serial killer in Florida as a serial killer police officer, actually. And he took us to the real tree where the actual FBI investigated, where they found the bodies and some of the other stuff there. And we've been out there, and it's a very, very unsettling vibe out there. And I've had a couple psychic mediums that wouldn't even go up to the actual tree. The it's just around the corner, And Joe actually got physically sick and to his stomach out there, and so just kind of
full
throwing
body apparition of a girl.
Yeah, he did, and I'm throwing this stuff out there just for some of the listeners so they get a little tiny bit of the background without getting too crazy. I'm sorry about cutting you off, but go ahead and
No, you're good. So I was with Bill and the team, Paranormal Existence Research Society, PERS, and we were at the Devil's Tree, and so we were, trying to see how the goggles worked, and I think Bill had just gotten them, and so we were really, really excited, and I put them on, and I started getting what was his middle name? Was it John?
Yeah.
Okay.
John Gerard Schaefer.
I kept getting John, and then I was actually getting visuals as I was doing the experiment, and I was seeing an old like sedan. It was white, and I got the impression that it was somebody of importance, somebody in uniform. But all of these things were happening. All these impressions were happening as the experiment was going on. But I kept hearing John, 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 and then there was somebody on the team, and I think it was like saying their name as well, and they were freaking out about it.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know anything about the Devil's Tree. I didn't know anything about it. I came
into go in there blind.
Yeah, I like to do that. And so it was just really, really cool. It's like I was just connecting even more because of the goggles, and it was just happening so fast. But
when did you start sensing things when you started to get towards the tree?
Pretty much right away. You could just feel that there was just something going on, that the energy was just different. It was just, it's kind of like you're walking and all of a sudden like the air is just still,
Yeah, definitely.
Hear anything. It's just like, yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
There was so many weird things that happened to us out there. There was one night we were out there and it was very, very still, like, and anytime we mentioned the serial killer's name or referenced him, all the trees in the canopy would just start to go shh, like a breeze would come through and then it would stop. And at first we didn't pick up on it, and then later we were like, you notice that every time, and then it would just go completely still. And it's like the paranormal, I always say, speaks in subtleties, and you got to just pick up on some stuff you could overthink and maybe come on it like, and you don't want to be so open-minded that your brains fall out, but you want to pick up little things. Sometimes that's things that are just trying to push you in the right direction or things of that nature. But yeah, that's a wild place, and I'm glad that experience, that experiment, that you actually got results from it, because I was making those goggles and we were doing like tests on them within the team, and then everybody kind of was like, hey, how do I get me a pair of those? How do I get a pair? And I gave Bill a pair, and then I more people were asking for them, so I started selling them through the Ghost Hunter store. And I get a lot of amazing feedback, all the time from different teams, and I love to hear everybody's experiences. I have yet to have somebody come to me and be like, yeah, it's BS. I didn't hear shit. Then like, and I'm open to whatever, but I haven't come across it. Everybody that's done it has been like, man, these are wild.
They are. They're really, really cool, and I definitely want to use them again.
Yeah, Patty Negri said it's like taking an acid trip, but without taking the drug. That's how it was for her.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that I have noticed too. Like the more, I guess, sensitive, or if you're a psychic medium, or if you have if you're more open to things, that it impacts that person a little bit harder, more. You get more effects from it, opposed to somebody like me that's I always say I'm as sensitive as a rock, but I mean, but when I
his heart isn't, though. I want to say that.
Yeah. But yeah, when I do it, it pushes that to that little bit of a next level. But somebody that is already open or has that those abilities, it really just pushes them to a whole different level.
And you know what's weird is that I'm not really that sensitive. I mean, we were just talking about everyone is, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I'm very like, I'm the skeptical type person. But the first time I did it was crazy. We were at a bar. I don't know if you've like taken a drive to the Florida Keys. And
Years
right
ago.
before you start, right when you start heading towards the Keys, there's the bar called the Last Chance Saloon. It's supposed to be super haunted there. Well, like maybe 5 years ago, there's a vacant lot. There was a murder suicide that happened there, right next to the bar, and we were doing the Delco on the stage, and I was just saying stuff that was relating to that murder suicide. It was just wild.
So just to kind of touch on that real quick, we didn't know about that. We didn't know anything about that murder suicide until after the fact. When we were doing the Delco experiment, Eric actually mentioned the last name of the people, the family. And the bartender caught it and was like, listen, that's the last name. And then she kind of
and
told
the age of the boy. I said the boy, I said 6 years old.
Yeah.
So what happened was this guy was up in like Hialeah, it's like North Miami, and he killed his wife. He like got one of those tie wraps and strangled her to death, and then took a 6-year-old boy and headed towards the Keys. And he didn't get that far. He got to Homestead and pulled off in this vacant lot next to the bar, strangled the kid the same way, and then I don't know how he killed himself. Did he shoot himself or something?
I don't recall.
But
then he took his own life.
Yeah, I believe he shot himself. So we didn't know anything about this, and it was just like when Mike was talking about it's the subtleties. We were there wrapping up, and the police officer was there, knocked on the door, just to make sure everyone's safe because I guess they're vulnerable when they're closing at night and it's late to robberies and stuff like that. So he was just checking on them. It turned out that the police officer was the first police officer at the scene of the crime where that happened. And he took us to the spot. And
we told him what we were doing, that we were investigators. He goes,
Yeah.
oh, you guys want to go to the spot where it happened? And he's like, come on, let's go.
Wow.
And then we were getting EVPs. We were doing an EVP session. We're getting responses that was relating to what we were doing in the bar. So that was a crazy night.
That was weird. Super weird.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Keys in a really long time. I'd like to go back, but it's been quite a while.
Robert the Doll.
Yeah,
get down there soon. Robert the Doll. We're buddies with David Sloan, which is Robert's caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get down there and film an episode here soon.
Yeah, David Sloan says that he wants us to check out. There's like a firehouse, an old firehouse down there. That's supposed to be super active. So
yeah, that's really cool.
But you're in Tampa. There's some places.
Have you ever been to the Tampa Theater?
There you go.
I have. I've been to the Tampa Theater. It's pretty cool. I will say.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty active.
The decor is really beautiful. It's active for sure. I was connecting with an actress, and interestingly, what was her name? Dorothy Dandridge, I believe. She was a famous actress back in the day, and I think that's who it was. But they had said that she passed through there at some particular point in time. And so it was just really, really interesting because I didn't know who that was at the time that I was talking to. Mm-hmm. But, we had some sounds and things like that. And I helped to lead a public investigation there. And so that was a lot of fun. Some people were having activity up in the projection room, but I didn't get to go up there, unfortunately. But yeah, I had forgotten I even went there until you just brought it up.
And then there's the I don't know if I got this right. The Havana Club? Cuban Club. I always say Havana Club. I don't know why.
I haven't gotten in there. I tried, and I couldn't get anybody to call me. And I guess they've like changed management. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I keep trying to get a hold of a different person every time. And they were open to it before, but I don't know what's going on right now. But I've been trying for a very long time.
And then I'm sure Ybor City, the whole place is haunted. It's got to be.
It is.
A lot
It
of
is.
people died there,
Oh, yeah.
like from yellow fever, right?
Yeah, and back in the day there was prohibition and there was a lot of stuff going on, and between the Cubans and the Italians, and they had the tunnels underneath of the city.
Yeah.
They're closed off, but this place that I like to go to, it's really, really cool. They've got it upstairs, it's called the Spook Easy, and then downstairs it's the catacombs. And so downstairs in the bathroom, it's bricked up, and you can see where the entrance to the tunnels were.
Oh, cool.
How far can you get in there?
You can't. It's bricked up, so
That's too
unfortunately
bad.
you can't. I know, but
I love me a good catacomb.
I know the catacombs. It's just the name of the bar is what it is. It's not actual catacombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that would be freaking awesome to get into
I
some
know,
of those
right?
tunnels. But
I used to work with the Hillsborough Teachers Association, and I don't know if you've been to their office. It's an old Cuban cigar factory.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and they redid it, and like in the bottom where the basement is, they still have like the writings from back in that time from the chalk that they used to write. And they said that the whole place is super active. And I don't know. I think the lady, I forget her name, but I think she still is president of the Teachers Association.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I went there for work, and she's like, "Oh, just bring a couple things, see what you get." And like, I tried, but I couldn't get anything because everybody was working,
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's like that's not the only cigar factory. There's other factories there. And then have you been to Fort DeSoto? I heard that's supposed to be haunted. How's that?
I didn't get anything there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the energy was fine. At least when I went. I've been there a few
Okay.
times. Yeah.
So if you had to pick a place in Tampa that you think is the most haunted, what would you pick?
In all honesty, I like the Spookeasy in the catacombs. It used to be a church, and immediately when I went in, I was connecting with a nun and some children.
Oh, really?
And,
oh wow.
and there had been a fire, and there were several deaths, and including a nun and some children. But interestingly, I think it was like the third floor that burned. And so instead of, fixing the part that burned and rebuilding it, it's just flat now. They just took that whole floor out.
Oh yeah.
And so
Oh,
there's
okay.
pictures of what it used to look like before the fire. So it's really interesting to see that. But that place is pretty active.
And they let people investigate or no?
They do have an investigation that they do now. They had told me that I could investigate from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. But I didn't get a chance to do that. I did it while I was there visiting, but there wasn't anybody there when I went, just the employees. So I was really just picking up on stuff and just walking around and things like that. And I didn't really have anything with me, but I was just kind of poking around. And
Might be a good idea for a show.
Yeah.
Just thinking. We're coming to visit you, Cahni.
Please do. We can go around Ybor and see what we get, and try to get into the Cuban Club.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And the Tampa Theater.
Yeah, definitely. But I do need to put on my compliance hat on now. So, in a few minutes, our listeners on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network, in a few minutes, you'll be moving on to the next show. But if you still want to listen or even watch us, you can go to our War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. If you do, please subscribe and like. You can check us out on our Facebook. We're streaming on Facebook, War Party Paranormal Facebook page. And then for our amazing supporters that are in the chat, check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. It's an amazing radio network. If you love the paranormal, UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, spiritualism, Chanel just said I rock. So I'll stop there. So check them out. I promise you'll like it. There we go. I'm done. And Connie, now you can say whatever you want. We're no FCC regulations. You can drop F-bombs. You can say whatever you like. Yeah. There's no rules now.
That's fucking awesome.
There you go. Well, I just remembered something because I don't want to get in any type of fucking trouble. Franny, Supernatural Eye, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. She's one of our team members, and she's out. And Connie, she actually has a degree in psychology too. So
cool.
And she's in Naples, so you guys might be good friends.
Yes.
But anyway, she has a show and called Supernatural Eye, and that's going to be. And by the way, yours truly is an interviewer.
Oh.
And me truly is going to be a guest. So how about that?
Yeah, I got the interview.
So you can see our faces again if you watch it. But that will be coming out, and it's going to be on St. Augustine. Franny and I did a little vacation there, and you know, when you get your girlfriend's into the paranormal and you're in the paranormal, it don't get better than that, right? So that's what we did. We ghost hunted all over St. Augustine, got some amazing stuff. So real quick, I'm going to play her trailer, and her episode's coming out on March 27th. And here we go. Bam. I'm sorry. I love St. Augustine. It's my favorite place.
It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everywhere. So I got a little story real quick I'm going to say about St. Augustine that I experienced, and this moment will never happen again unless we get COVID again. Yeah, it's related to COVID. So you remember when everything shut down, when COVID was really bad? They shut down the restaurants, they shut down the stores. At night, there was nothing going on. There's like a curfew. You can be out. Well, just before that happened, our family had rented a beach house on St. Augustine Beach. They were hanging out there because, you know, they were just sick of being cooped up in the house, and they already had to rent out. So they were like, hey, let's just drive to St. Augustine and use the house. So I decided to go up there, and you know what I did? So it was pretty cool because it was the only time you could investigate St. Augustine and there's nobody around. You could hear a pin drop. It was so quiet. I got so much activity. It was crazy. And the craziest one I got was at the Castillo de San Marcos. I was at the executioner's wall and I was getting EVPs. But the wildest thing is I put an EDI, a data logger, into the cannonball hole, and it was sensing vibration. And this is like at 1 a.m. How crazy is that? Like, where's the vibration coming from that? Right. From that rock? That's cool. I mean, people don't understand. It was built off of seashells, like they built like, you know, cement blocks, coquina. And it was amazing because whenever that fort was attacked by cannons, the cannonballs would go in like a sponge, and all they would have to do was just cover it up. They couldn't knock it down. So it was like a sponge. So like, I don't know. It was crazy. Blew my mind away.
You went in the Castillo at night?
No, I was at the executioner's wall. I was outside walking around.
So yeah, around the side, they had a wall where they would execute people.
They're like, you lucky bastard. Nobody gets in there.
There's still like a bunch of big, like,
cannonballs and musket balls and all kinds of stuff. And people see all kinds of crazy stuff around there. People have died. How many people have died there? Like just around that wall, you know?
Yeah, a lot.
Chief Osceola's head supposedly floats around the top part.
I think that was debunked. I don't think he actually was killed there.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
But I think his head was there.
But I think they said it was like in the old drugstore, which is now the wax museum.
Yeah.
It used to be a pharmacy. I remember going there when it was a pharmacy.
The old pharmacy, yeah.
And
well, they're still there. The pharmacy and the wax museum are like attached.
Oh, okay. But they were saying that his head was there, I believe. But then they
something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I forgot that he was there.
I wish I had a head in a jar on my desk. I could hang it, make it maybe like a light fixture. You could turn it on and it lights up. But
there you go.
Get all kinds of weird
ideas. Stuff.
People are like, someone's going to take that idea and make a lot of money.
Right.
Right, Mike?
Maybe.
You better, as soon as you can, get right on that.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered. So we're like at the end of the show, or this is where you tell everyone where they can find you, promote yourself.
And where they can stalk me on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
But only friendly, okay? Please. I forgot to do this. Bam. Did I get that right?
Yes, but I'm actually changing that site soon, but it's okay.
Okay. So tell people where they can find you. Tell them where they can get therapy from you. Tell them if you're going to be at any events, because it looks like you go to some Comic-Cons, Paracons.
So if you friend me on Facebook, then I will accept the request. And so if you put in Cahni.
Accepted me.
Spelled Cahni. If you put that in, you're going to find me, because I don't think there's anybody else with that name. So you can send me a friend request or you can message me. But I do hypnotherapy virtually. So I have clients from all across the country. If you like past life regressions, I definitely do that. But, I could talk about hypnotherapy all day. If you're experiencing issues with smoking, if you've got bad habits, if you have alien abduction issues,
I chew my nails.
Yeah, I do that too. People that, want to get information about their abductions and find out if they were dreaming. I've had people that want to get to that first experience that they've had and figure out what was going on. Yeah, I'm your gal.
Very cool.
Yes, find me on Facebook. It's the easiest way right now.
And
or Psychology Today, Psychology Today website. So Psychology Today, it's got like therapists and things like that. It's pretty much the go-to if you're trying to find a therapist, but I'm on there as well.
That means she's very reputable, people. Okay.
For sure.
There you go.
Oh, here comes the other co-host.
Wheezy. Wheezy gets jealous. He's like, when am I going to be on the show? Damn it.
All right, guys. And for me, if you want to check out any of my personal content or any of my social media stuff, the easiest way is if you head over to my website. It's FLA paranormalresearcher.com. Got info on the haunted files and some other stuff and different things that we have coming up. And that links out to all my social media. So that's a good way to find me. And Eric, what about you?
Well, for the team, we got a website, warpartyparanormal.com. So that's pretty easy to remember. We got everything there. If you need help, we're non-for-profit. We don't charge a dime. We stick with you for life. We're not one and done. So if you ever need any type of help with any type of paranormal issues, you can reach out to us. And if you're really not too sure about doing that, but maybe you want to meet us in person just to check us out, well, we're going to have a live interactive paranormal event at the Old Davie Schoolhouse Museum this Friday at 7. So come. Hopefully there's still tickets left. I did post the link on our Facebook and Instagram page for War Party Paranormal. So yeah, come investigate with us. Super active. And it's not just the school. It's like the whole grounds. Like we got a school, and we got 2 historical homes that are probably even more active than the school, but come check us out. And Mike, we're going to be in Wilmington, North Carolina. That is going to be on April
26th.
6th. Yep. We'll be at the USS North Carolina. Booze on the Battleship, Connie. How about that?
That's cool.
So
yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of great guests, and we're doing
yeah.
a public ghost hunt that night, and there's gonna be a gallery reading. It's gonna be a good time.
Yep.
So
And if you're
you
in
guys
North Carolina, join us. I mean, you're going to investigate a battleship. How badass is that?
That's really cool.
pretty
Yeah.
neat stuff. Then that was active in World War II. Actually got hit with a
It was a
torpedo.
badass ship too. It
So-
took down it did a lot of it
damage.
took care of business. Yeah, a lot of
It
damage.
took care of business. All right, cool. So
Oh,
again,
I also do shamanic healing, and we didn't
Oh,
get
there
to
you
talk
go.
about that, but
We're
I
bringing
can
you
do
back
that
just
as
for
well.
that too.
Yes, I can do that virtually as well. If you want information about that, contact me. I do a whole lot of cool stuff with that.
Okay, I may hit you up on that because I may need some.
Yes, we all do.
Real. Yeah. It's good for everybody, people. You don't have to have a problem, okay?
For sure. There's a lot of things that I can do. Even if you don't have problems, I can prevent you from having them.
there you go.
Cahni, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
coming on the
Cahni.
show.
It was a great
We'll have to bring
show.
you
It
back.
was a good time, and
Thank you for having me.
yeah, thank you for joining us. Listen to that, folks, check her out, see what she has to offer. Check out she'll have a new website out, I guess, coming soon. Make sure you check that out. Find her on Facebook, and thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Monday. Bye.